Yes, I mean, if we get expired, so we could not able to access even course materials also, and only lab not available.
Everything will be deleted except exam validity. Once if RHLS is expired, you can only write exams if you already scheduled. Right now, because of this lockdown period, they are going to extend to 3 months. No? So in 3 months, anytime you can uh, book your exam. So that
Okay.
in, again, tentatively, you can choose one of the dates to book your exam, because the slots will be booked by other candidates. No? Sometimes the slots might be full. So if you choose tentatively one date after lockdown period completed, we can also help you if you want to write exam at a particular day or particular time. We'll try to check what are the different slots available, and we will also open our lab exam lab open in the morning like 6 o'clock to night 11 o'clock. We will try to check it out. Then at least we'll get one of the slots which is available. Based on that, you can ensure your exam in a particular day.
Okay.
So, okay, even
So,
if you didn't get any slot, also book one of the slot, and we'll try to accommodate based on your requirement.
Okay, sir.
so this is online is available, sir?
Online exam you are talking about?
Yeah.
Exam you can write globally anywhere, but you need to book. For example, if you book exam in India, you can write globally anywhere.
Okay.
Okay, so but exam must be done at Red Hat authorized training partner. Suppose in Singapore, if you want to write exam, you need to search in Red Hat website what are the exam centers, or whatever the eligibility code you are getting. For example, in that eligibility code, if you click on that, it will show local available center. You can choose and book your slot.
Okay. Okay. So, and I have few questions about this architecture. So sorry, I joined a little bit late because of I have some issue that
Yeah,
joining that link.
yes.
Uh, but you mentioned that OpenShift and Azure and AWS. So Azure and AWS, I mean, they are providing as a platform as service for the OpenShift.
No. See, let me explain here. AWS is most popular product in infrastructure as a service solution. Okay,
Exactly.
it is the most popular product, and from the beginning, because it's a beginner, because in this area, this is a beginner. Amazon Web Server Services is beginner. So OpenStack started in 2010. So it's a actually latecomer, but developed in the form of open source as well as free product. So, but when we are taking AWS having lot of enhancements, and as well as a lot of plugins and tools and options they developed here, and people use this AWS widely, and initially they found it is very expensive, but after that, after using properly, they stick with the AWS for infrastructure as a service solution. But if one of the company wants to start new company, for example, they want to start their services, but what is infrastructure service? You need to build your server, and you have to choose your operating system. When you are choosing your operating system, based on the programmer requirement, as an administrator we have to install packages. Suppose the person who wants to develop JTE product like Java based applications, whatever it might be, he need to install all Java related application software. Once you prepare it, you need to check compatibility issues, and you have to give to the particular developer to develop his code. But that is a very lengthy process for the organization who want to start on the particular day one onwards. If you want to start day one onwards without having any servers administrator, without having any knowledge on which server they are going to use, they want to start developing code from the day one onwards. At that moment, they would choose services from Azure. AWS also providing, but Azure is the easiest one and most popular one. So in this platform as a service solution, Azure is the leader. So Azure, how it is becoming leader, they are using backend is OpenShift only. Backend is OpenShift only. So front end they developed according to the customer need, and backend is OpenShift. So if you look at AWS components, if you look at backend, OpenStack components and AWS components are almost similar. So that's reason whenever you have OpenStack knowledge, you can manage AWS backend support also. See, normally if you look at AWS console, you can find how to create instance, how to add storage, how to choose different services, how to choose a firewall, how to choose the kind of load balancer. Everything you can choose like a kind of plug and play. You can drag and drop and use it simply, or choose the option. But if the particular service is getting issue for your infrastructure, who will fix it? You need to fix it. To fix those things with the help of administrator privileges, we can fix it. The person who is having OpenStack administration knowledge, he can manage those things with the help of that skill set. Okay, one moment. Some of you. Okay, so yeah, so we have two queries. I will answer those things separately. So for a, okay, so let me continue here with the new drawing. I will also share these drawings. No worry about that.
Sir, I have a question, sir. Can I ask you
Yeah,
regarding,
you can ask.
sir, as per the explained flow chart, after
Hmm.
completion of the RHCE, if I choose the DevOps
Hmm.
and cloud, what will be the 5 papers I need to clear?
So that is the list. First one is anyway. See, for example, we are taking OpenShift is one part. Okay. So if you are not going to work with the data center, you don't need to take virtualization. OpenStack is another part, and we can choose container security, because OpenShift is nothing but combination of Kubernetes and Docker. Docker is nothing but container here, container security. That is, we can call it as DO425. Here, this is we can call it as CL210, and plus if you want to go for the further level, CL310. Then you can also have DO280. So we have 380 also, but there is no exam as of now. So DO425 here. So DO means DevOps here. So combination of DevOps. Okay. Then along with that, you can also choose especially Ansible you already completed. For example, Ansible is one of the paper. If you are already completed Ansible at RSC level, you can choose DO 447. This is, we can call it as advanced Ansible, advanced automation, advanced automation. Along with that, if you want to go for configuration management with Puppet, you can choose this one in Puppet. So like this, we can choose different electives. These are all we can say electives. Based on that, we will also guide based on your requirement. Now, it is not a common solution for everyone. So you have to choose 5 papers based on our requirement. Some other guys, they may choose 5 papers based on the pass percentage of the particular paper, because some of the papers are a little bit tough. At the moment, they will say that always why we need to like risk. We can go for 5 papers, the 5 papers which is easier to become architect. So 2 papers is RSCSA and RSCE. 2 papers is RSCSA plus RSCE. We can call it as 2 papers. Then 5 electives we can choose from the list. We have almost 30 plus electives available, so we can choose any one of the elective from that. Okay,
So for OpenStack, do we need to clear 2 versions, CL210 and CL310?
that is up to us. That is up to us. Normally, I would recommend you, when you are not going for telecom industry, just finish only 210. If you are going to work with telecom industry, you have to finish CL310 also.
Okay.
because in Gulf they are completing CL310Y because they have OpenStack for telecom industry they are using widely.
And for OpenShift, sir, do we need to go for the DevOps also? A separate exam, or OpenShift will have the combination with the DevOps?
See, this is DevOps means DevOps only, right?
Combination,
So because
combination, right?
combination in the sense, see, OpenShift is available in cloud administration track. OpenShift is also available in automation track.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the reason when you are finishing this kind of combination courses, you can become architect in cloud as well as DevOps also.
Okay. Okay.
So two streams will be covered automatically.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, actually, my earlier question, right? I mean, yeah, earlier I thanks for answering. But my question is here. Suppose in my company, suppose for example, if I was working into the completely AWS cloud, so we are using an cloud environment.
Hmm.
So are they these OpenShift software? So can I able to install in my cloud environment? Suppose for let's say an example of the AWS. Can I able to run my OpenShift platform into my
Yes, yes,
AWS environment?
yes, yes, yes. We'll go to the particular point right now. So yeah, I will answer this one. So see, usually when you are talking about platform as a service or infrastructure as a service, first of all we need to know what is our regular traditional infrastructure. Suppose if you have traditional infrastructure here, if you take traditional data center or a server, if you take it, first you need to have your combination of your hardware. So we need to have hardware to buy it. Hardware in the sense you need to have your CPU, then RAM, then you should have your storage. Everything you should have here. So RAM, CPU, storage, you should have it. Once if you have RAM, storage, CPU, your system is almost ready, right? So usually your hardware is nothing but we always measure with how much RAM do we have, how much storage do we have, how much CPU do we have, like this. Everything will be available. So on top of that, what we choose, we will choose OS. OS. When you are taking this one, OS also will be provided by you only. As administrator, you need to provide this OS. So this OS will be provided by you only, but which OS you want to choose based on that. If you are taking Linux RHEL, this is subscription based. If you take Windows, that is commercial based. You need to have it. Again, on top of that, again you need to have application software. Application software. We need to have application software. So once if you have application software again, so again up to this level means in this layer your work is from here to here completely. This is all your work as administrator. You need to provide entire structure. So if you want to prepare this kind of structure, sometimes it may take days. For example, I want to order because desktop computer you can buy from CTC or from local hardware vendor very quickly. But server hardware, when you want to buy it, server hardware, server hardware will take server hardware. If you want to buy it, will take minimum 15 days to 1 month to buy. You need to order first to buy. Will take 15 to 30 days will take it based on the availability of the hardware. So usually server hardware is different and desktop hardware is different. So then once if you buy hardware, then for this hardware again we need to check this OS is compatible or not. We need to check OS with compatibility. So recently after releasing Relite relate, we purchased one hardware. So without checking compatibility issue, if you install relate, we will get a message, check hardware compatibility list from the Red Hat. You will get that kind of message. Then only you will have no issues with your hardware. Otherwise, you will get some compatibility issues. They are going to test in different hardware and they are going to give a kind of documentation. So as an administrator, that is your responsibility to check whether the operating system is compatible to the particular hardware or not. Once if you check the compatibility, then on OS again, application software when you want to install it, that is also you have to check compatibility, whether it is compatible for your operating system or not. So same thing we normally face whenever you are installing some software. The software is not compatible to that particular OS. We can't download it, right? We can't download, even if we download, we can't install it. So compatibility issues always you will face challenges. So I remember since my beginning, because I started my career in 2000 year. At that moment when I was working with the different servers in Linux, I faced a lot of challenges to prepare a server as well as application software. So sometimes it took like 1 day to 2 days, 3 days, 5 days also to fix the particular errors. So in traditional data center or server, your administrative task, you have to spend a lot of human hours. So this is hectic for the organization. So for the organization who want to start their servers, but they don't want to spend much more time. They want to get server on fly. Whenever they want to get their server. Whenever they don't want, they want to destroy the server. So in traditional environment, if you buy a server, suppose today I got a new server hardware and I install operating system, I did it. But recently, in 1 week, they are going to release one new update for the OS, and they are saying that it is not compatible to so and so hardware. Then what will happen? Our hardware will be useless. So that's reason this is always risk-based investment. But yes, if you have clear idea and you are maintaining data center for different clients, and for you it's not a big deal. But then people who wants to share their data center, they may use virtualization here. Whenever you are talking about virtualization will be useful here. Virtualization is the next layer. Virtualization, when you are using it, you can use either VMware, or we may use RHV, Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization, RHEV, we use it. So Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization, we can use it. VMware is it. We can also different solutions available. Anything we can choose according to our need. So this is a little bit hectic to manage and very hard to manage it. But when you are talking about cloud administration or cloud related environment, instead of working on each and every area, if you take up to OS, normally OS will be chosen by us, but we can say up to this OS. So everything, whatever the CPU, whatever the OS, everything. OS on fly we can choose it. Storage, I can choose on fly. RAM, we can choose on fly. CPU, how many cores you require, we can choose on fly here. Everything will be chosen by you on fly. So this is always working on self-service model. Here this is available on self-service model. Self-service model. So when you are taking self-service model here, this self-service model is easy to use it, So then what is your work as administrator? This part will be provided by whom? This part will be provided by cloud provider. So this part will be provided by cloud providers. So we have many cloud providers here, but the most popular one is, see, we are running our server or website in different areas. Normally, we have GoDaddy also providing some kind of solution, and other third-party vendors also providing solution. But mainly, we can say Amazon Web Server Service is the best solution. Quickly, we can use it. Apart from that, we can also use OpenStack to prepare our private cloud. OpenStack comes under here private cloud. Private cloud. So I am giving a kind of common knowledge, because public cloud, private cloud. Public cloud means it is related to internet. Private cloud means on premises. So in your premises, if you have your cloud infrastructure, that is we can call it as private cloud. If the cloud is available in internet, its infrastructure is available in internet, that is we can call it as public cloud. So AWS also providing public and private cloud solutions, but most probably if you take main revenue and main business, you can check it out public cloud only. OpenStack, whoever wants to manage their private cloud, they always go for the OpenStack solution. So why we need to bind with the licensing here with AWS? We can use OpenStack. So your administrator work will start here. Only what we need to do here, we need to check your work with the application software. Application software, you have to use it, and your developers will work from here. So developers, this is all admin area. We can say admin will manage those things here. Admin will manage. This admin, we can call him as a cloud administrator, right? This is a cloud administrator. Then if you take next level, that is, we can call it as, so if you take next level here, in this level, this is a solution, we can call it as IaaS, infrastructure as a service here. When you're talking about the platform as a service, because the company wants to start their services, but they don't want to look at the application software also, because because I have 10 members in my new organization. In 10 members, I want to develop products. 3 members working in .NET, 3 members are working in Java, 3 members are working in Python, 1 person is working in PHP. Means how many servers I need to manage? 4 different servers I need to manage with different application software. Instead of that, what we suggest for them, they have only 10 limited numbers and they want to work from the day one onwards. At that moment, we want to take a complete platform as a service solution, inclusive application software. They can choose .NET. Uh, it is supporting with .NET. They can choose Java. They can choose Python. They can choose Ruby. They can choose PHP. They can choose WordPress. They can choose databases like MySQL or MariaDB, MariaDB, or we can choose here Postgres. Postgres. These are all databases. Like so, databases they can choose as well as, and they can also choose MongoDB. Like this, these are all available in platform as a service solution. Means we are not worrying about what infrastructure they are using, what application software they are using. Everything will be available on fly in a single click. In a single click, we are getting all these environments here. So you don't need to worry about how it is working and how to manage it. These kind of things you don't need to worry about it. Simply you can manage whatever the databases you required. whatever the application software you required, you can run here. But advantage with is again, here we have high availability option. For example, this infrastructure, if one server is down, if you don't have high availability feature, entire infrastructure means entire site application will be down. But whereas in platform as a service solution, if you have application running with .NET, whatever the, see here the concept is instance, here the concept we can create as pod or container. So the pod is nothing but combination of containers. I will explain the technical terms after this session, after this slide. So here you can start either .NET or Java related system. We can say system where developer can work directly here. So developers can work and administrator will manage all these things initially. He will provide it, but developer work. This is related developer work. So when developer wants to work here, he can work here. Administrator wants to work here, he always work up to operating system and application provision here. So this will be provided by here Azure, Amazon also providing, Google also providing. I'm giving here Amazon and Google. So if you go to Google Cloud, you can see the kind of solution. And these are all we can create as public. Then OpenShift is public as well as private. So this will comes under public as well as private. They are providing private and public cloud, both they are providing here. Okay, public or private. So most of the time when you are talking about this Azure or Amazon or Google, most of the time it is public, public. But in real time, we use public and private combination. Why? Because web server should be available under public environment. Database should be available in private environment. Database server. So some infrastructure we want to secure in private cloud. Some infrastructure we need to provide in public cloud. At that moment, we choose different solutions in real time. In that, whatever I mentioned, OpenStack, CL210, CL310, these are all comes under infrastructure as a service solution. But whatever I mentioned, OpenShift container security, these are all comes under this area. So, any doubt at this level?
Sir, this virtualization comes under the umbrella of SaaS, sir? SaaS, software as a
Virtualization
service.
won't come under there. Virtualization we use at only traditional data center.
Okay.
So virtualization is the part of cloud again. So without virtualization, there is no cloud usually. But cloud is not virtualization. Virtualization is the part of your cloud.
Okay.
Okay. So if it is clear, we can say this. So now in this we are going to learn OpenShift here. OpenShift is open source as well as free product. So we can also download it. So it is so if you want to check it out, if you go to OKD website, OKD OpenShift K means Kubernetes, D means Docker. So we are going to use combination of OpenShift, Kubernetes and Docker. That's nothing but OpenShift. So to manage Docker, see what is Docker here? Docker is a container. Docker is a container. So what is container? Normally in virtualization we'll have in virtualization we have virtual machine. Virtualization we have virtual machine. Virtual machine. So starting virtual machine. See, if you take virtual machine is going to have a shared resources from your physical machine. Whatever the RAM you have, whatever the CPU you have, whatever the storage we have, we are sharing it. So based on virtual machine running, the dedicated resources will be allocated for the virtual machine. Suppose, for example, I have 4 GB RAM. I can create 10 virtual machines, but I can't run 10 virtual machines at a time because these are all shared resources, dedicatedly not available. If you run it, it is dedicatedly available. So that's the reason virtualization will create load for your mission, as well as virtualization is going to become overloaded for infrastructure. So that's the reason, again, to start your mission virtualizer VM, we can also call it as VM here. To start VM, it will take time. Like your physical machine, it is also having boot process and the related information. Whereas Docker is a container. It's a kind of mm, a layer. It's a layer which can choose minimal minimal hardware and software resources, software, or we can say OS libraries, OS and or we can say OS or software libs. It is going to choose that one, and with the help of that, it is going to create a layer. So it looks like a machine only, but it's a kind of layer which can choose minimal hardware and OS or software libs. It will choose it, and it is also having another feature like uh, which is isolated from the actual mission. So whatever the mission we are running, suppose for example, in our in Docker, for example, if you take a simple scenario here, if you take virtualization, we have OS here, we have OS. On top of OS, we are going to create, we are going to install virtualization software. That is, we can call it as hypervisor. Hypervisor, we are going to have it. Then on top of that, we are going to have again VM. VM will have again another OS. So when you have 3 layers here, so when you are talking about virtualization, we'll have physical machine with OS, and you are going to have hypervisor, and again hypervisor is going to allow to create another virtual machine. It is going to create another virtual machine. This virtual machine is going to have a separate OS here. So this OS we can call it as host OS. This OS we can call it as host OS. This OS we can call it as guest OS. Guest OS here. So whereas in containers whereas in containers, we have minimal load here. So here OS, we have libraries, binaries, etc. also, but while learning course again we will discuss those things. So here we have OS, then we have container software. Container software. We can have different softwares, but the container software we can say here we are using Docker is the container software OS. Then it is going to create another layer with the help of container software. This container software will have containers, containers, containers with the existing OS only, container with existing OS. So the OS, we are not creating any separate installation. We don't need to install separately. We just create a separate layer for that. So this is the, we can call it as container. So which is taking your OS libraries from here to here. So we are not separately installing any OS. We are going to use existing OS libraries. So it is going to use container will use container will use a libraries, binaries, binaries from base OS. Base OS or host OS. We can say host OS here. Host OS. So this is the way it is working. So container is always using libraries and bins from your base OS or host OS. Suppose if I update my OS here, automatically container OS also will be updated. So starting container will take only 30 seconds or less than 1 minute. But starting virtual machine will take more time. Okay. So any doubt or confusion here? This is related to virtualization.
Right. The container means so example Docker, right? The container
Hmm.
software is.
Container software is Docker. We have Rocket and we have LUX. We have different softwares available for them. We need to
Okay.
have container software. Container software, we can call it as containerization. This is, we can call it as containerization.
Right. And one more thing in that guest container, if you want to install some other libraries, we can do it, right?
Yes, yes, we can do that. For that, that's the reason Docker, learning Docker is separate effort you need to put it. Because see, normally I already mentioned whatever the OS I updated here, the OS, suppose I have 100 containers running in my OS. If I update OS, 100 containers are going to update automatically. But at that moment, we will get compatibility issues with the existing applications. The container is having an application, we will have issues. So at that moment, what will happen? Your container will be going to die, or your container will be restarted automatically. That's the reason what we have to mention while updating OS, we have to inform to your container whether you want to get update from OS, base OS or not. So that is always programmed or configured in the container. If you want to take updates, you can take it. Otherwise, you don't need to take any update from the existing one. Here, it is anyway separate virtual machine like a physical machine. It's a separate virtual machine. Whatever the OS you are updating here, it is not going to affect your virtual machine. But if you have 100 virtual machines, you have to update all 100 virtual machines manually. But whereas in containerization, if you have one server which is having container software, if you update that OS, every container which is running on the particular server is going to update automatically. So that is based on our requirement, we can use it. We can't say simply we can't update or we can update like that. Based on our requirement, we can choose.
Hello, sir. I have a question.
Yeah.
Sir, when we provision a Docker container, right? When we provision it on a large scale, we use a Docker compose file, right, sir?
Yes, yes. Yes,
So
yes.
for OpenShift, do we have to write a YAML file that will provision lots of containers into a cluster, or do we have to write a Docker compose file and then another YAML file for OpenShift?
Yeah, I will explain that one. Now we'll move to the next level. That is what we are going to use in OpenShift. And before
Sir, I
that,
have a question.
yeah,
Sir, I have a question, sir.
yes.
Sir, can you, because I have lost it, hypervisor. I couldn't understand what is hypervisor. Can you please conclude in a single line what is hypervisor?
Hypervisor is a kind of software which is provisioning a virtual machine. So it might be KVM, it might be Microsoft hypervisor, or it might be virtual machine, VMware software, whatever it might be. Again, this hypervisor, we have two types: software hypervisor. Second one is hardware. So software means you need to install in OS, and it is going to provision the virtual machine. If it is hardware, you don't need to have any OS. You need to have a hardware, a bare metal hardware. You should have it, where we can use hypervisor software. Directly, it is providing that hardware to existing infrastructure. For example, I have one data center where we have hypervisor, and which is provisioning all the virtual machines, but the data center servers not like providing sufficient requirement. Now we have a lot of demand. Now what you have to do, you need to add new hardware. Whenever you are adding new hardware, that hardware you can add with the help of hypervisor. No need to install every hardware must have OS like that. So initially, base level we should have OS, but next level hardware, when you are talking about hardware hypervisor, you don't need to have any OS. Second mission should have only hypervisor software should be installed. It is also kind of ISO. You need to just boot with your pen drive or DVD. That hypervisor software is avail that hardware, whatever the RAM, hard disk, processor, everything will be joined to your existing infrastructure.
Okay, sir, in containerization, I have one doubt, sir. So we are saying that host OS, right? That host OS can be Windows or RHEL or anything, right?
Yeah, anything. But here, right now, there is a kind of constraint. The constraint is if you have Windows OS, you can prepare Windows containers. If you have Linux OS, we can have Linux containers only. We can't use cross-platform containers here. But there is a development is happening. They're also providing cross-platform containers solution, but it is under R&D as well as implementations like that. Not yet implemented in real-time projects, but yes, when you want to run, see, it's a kind of thing. For example, containers always you can find a kind of symbol with ship. So if you have a goods container, if you open that, you can find only goods. You can't keep human and goods in the single container. If you take animal container, you can have only animals. You can't have goods as well as this one. So container is nothing but a kind of provisioning from the OS. So that's reason as of now, from the day of development, they have provided some kind of limitation. That limitation is whatever the base OS you have, similar kind of containers you can prepare without having any issue. But when you want to have cross-platform, you need to have specialization for that. So it is under development completely, not yet available.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. So let us move to the next one. Yeah. Others, do you have any doubt? So in the containers, we have a disadvantage. What is the disadvantage? Suppose you have one container running with application software application. We have another container with database. Okay. So we are not talking about now operating system, and on top of the operating system it is running, right? This is running with application container. This is application container. Then this is